I believe that there is a God. I believe that God deserves to be worshipped. I also know that many people on this earth don't know that God. And knowing that God makes life worthwhile. Missions exists because worship doesn't. But missions is to make God known where he's not known. It's not about us.
If we are Christians, God's called us to love God, love others, and teach others to do the same.
In the States, we have access to the gospel. Most people in the States can find a church or hear about Jesus on the radio or from other people, but we still have places around the world that they do not have access to the gospel. And so someone needs to take the gospel to them. They cannot access it where they are.
You come to these places because there are not enough local workers to do the job, or sometimes there's no local workers, there's no local believers. And so you come thinking, as a foreigner, you're going to do the work. In reality, the more local and national partners we can be working with, the better, because they already have a reason to live here. They already blend in. They can get into places where we can't go. And they know the language, and they're more like cultured than we are. I think it's important to recognize the value of that partnership, that you're coming to partner with local believers, and the more you can utilize that partnership and entrust more and more of the work to them, the better it's going to be.
The Logos people are coming to the Lord left and right. People on our team here, and they're going into the village, and like, there were 15 believers, now there are 85.
It's been exciting work. It really has, to see lives change. The young men that Seth are investing in, most of them weren't Christians when they started being part of his group of men that he's investing in and training. All of them, you can see a difference in the way that they carry themselves.
Before moving over here, I wish I would have gotten maybe a little bit more hands-on experience of some home Bible study group. That's more of what it looks like in our context here in Southeast Asia. Is you're not going to invite somebody who's a non-believer to an established church. You're going to invite them over to your house or a coffee shop, or to go get some fried duck, and you're going to go over some Bible passages there.
Being on the mission field, I've noticed that locals definitely respect you more when you have some sort of vocation. You're doing some sort of work.
Under the guise of art, we're able to broad seed sow in ways that other people aren't. A lot of that growth is happening because of the belief, like the national believers, but there definitely needs to be more workers. We have these new believers that want to be discipled, that want to be poured into. The most senior believer amongst them is someone who's been a believer for 6 months.
I was talking with a pastor, and he was telling me that he's one of the oldest evangelical workers in his area, and he's 41. He was saying that they need people with wisdom to come in so that it's not like they're doing everything for the first time.
There are local believers who have been believers longer than I've been alive, maybe don't have discipleship tools, maybe haven't lived out the Great Commission and in discipling new believers in their Christian walk. And so that's something that I can come along and train them in, or help them and point them direction of what that might look like.
Because if you equip someone to truly love God and love others, and they're infected by the beauty of the gospel, you can't stop them.
As Christians, we need to remember that we are all missionaries, and that everything we do needs to be about making God known. There's no exception for people on the field versus people at home. We're all called to the same work.